Hey everyone, good evening, good morning to you all. I'm just going to do a quick sound check. So, Rock, I know that you're there. If you could actually just check my sound, let me know in the chat box if you can hear me okay, or just shout through the door. Yes, I can hear you. You can't hear me. Okay, are you sure that's not your end? Because my mic's working perfectly fine. Hello, Sally, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, Sally can hear me. Excellent. So, um, awesome, awesome, awesome. Now let me see. Right, I can't see who's here at the moment. I know that the room's starting to fill up. So let me know where you're coming in from. I know that I've got some Aussies, some Kiwis, and some people from the UK. So let me know where you're from, and the US as well, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So do write in. Hi, Heather. I can see you're coming in. Hi, Sophia. Lovely to see you. So let me know where you're all from, coming in from. Just in the chat box, say hello. So, Sally, you're from Arizona in the US. Wonderful. How amazing is that? That's fantastic. I shall get started shortly. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spend a little bit of time on the camera, and I'm going to spend some time showing you some slides as well. And then there might be a mixture of the two at some points as well. So, what I want you to do is I want you to basically close everything down, pay attention. It's a really packed, full mastermind. You're going to learn so much. And I'm thrilled to bits that you're here. So thank you very much. Now, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the mastermind. Now, the best thing to do is if you come up with a question partway through, jot those questions down on your paper, and then you'll be able to ask me the questions at the very end. So you just type your questions in, and then I'll actually look at all of those questions. I'll stay here for as long as it takes to answer all of those questions for you. All right. So definitely do ask your questions. And also, while you're here, let me know what your business is. I'd love to know what it is that you do, that you currently do. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so ladies, those of you that are gradually coming in, let me know that you're here. Hi, Sarah. Oh, wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for responding. So just type that you're here and where you're coming in from. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get started. I'm going to switch my camera off for now as well. So can you just let me know that you can see my screen? Hi, Sophia. Lovely to see you, my darling. Are you back at home now or still on your holidays? All right. So, yes, all good. Fabulous. All right, then. So let's get started. I will get myself organized and then we can crack on. All right. So, some of you will be coming in, and as you're coming in, just you'll be able to watch the screen. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. There's going to be some work for you guys to do as well. So do pay attention, because you'll never know when I'm going to ask you some questions as well. So I just want to say to everyone, if you didn't hear me before, thank you so much for being here today. And you're definitely in the right place if you want to discover how to grow your audience and create a launch strategy. The most important part about that is without the stress and crazy confusion that comes with it. So who here gets confused by everything online, not just launching, because some of you may not have even launched yet, but who here gets really confused with everything that's online these days? You know, confused with everything that you've got to do. So just put that down in the chat and I'll be able to see. Okay, so let's have a look. All right. Excellent. So I'm glad it's all working good. Yes, there's so much information to take in. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of information. And one of the things that I will teach you is how to simplify that, because you don't have to be doing everything all of the time. And I think it's really important to understand that you don't have to do everything all of the time. Okay, because otherwise it just gets totally and utterly overwhelming. So today I'm going to show you how you can make the optimum move from struggling to grow an audience. And that means doing absolutely everything and also getting yourself ready to do a launch of perhaps a product or a service that you've got. So again, in the chat box, just write down, do you have a product or do you offer a service? And if so, what is that product and what is that service? Because if you let me know in the chat box, then I can refer back to you and I can actually make some examples of what it is that you're already doing. I shall also take you from feeling totally confused and overwhelmed as to all those things that you have to do, making sure that you're doing it in the right order and by when you have to do them. Now, when you know all of these things, you suddenly become so much more confident about growing your audience, and it will literally make your business more profitable by completing one launch that you can repeat over and over again. And I'm going to tell you a little story. Actually, I'm supposed to be on a big seminar thing that's going on at the moment, and I've been watching it on and off before getting ready for this. And there are some people that are giving their testimonials of what they've achieved by launching their products, and it's absolutely phenomenal. They've actually been doing things, so figures like one lady, she did her first launch and she made 40,000 US dollars. Another lady, she did her first launch and she only had 14 people buying her products, but by the time she got to do her second product, her second launch, she ended up selling $660,000 worth of product. Now, I'm not in that league yet, but I certainly do hope to be at some point, and I'm sure that that's where you want to be as well. So what I'd like to say to you is that I have a little bonus. So if you stay with me till the end, and I know what these things are like, sometimes you can drift off, but seriously, this is a masterclass. It is something that I'm going to be teaching you. You're going to learn 3 different strategies today. So if you stay until the end and decide to work with me as you go on this audience growth and launch planning journey, I will give you the opportunity to get your hands on a real special bonus. I just actually added it to the brand new program, and I'll give you all the details at the end of the masterclass. So what I'd like you to do is really stay focused and turn off all your distractions. Seriously, the brain can only digest about 20% of information at any one time. And if you're looking at your phone while you're trying to listen to me, then you'll lose some of the key points that I'm going to cover with you today. So please stay with me, as there is some work for you to do as well. I've already hinted at that. And actually, this is the start. You're going to do some work immediately. Because what we're going to do is we're going to work on how to create your social media content plan. Now, this is what I call the 30-minute social soiree. And the reason I call it the 30-minute social soiree is that we often think that the social media content is going to take us a long time. And when you've been doing it for a while, you get into really good habits like batching your time. And what I mean by that is, rather than saying to yourself, okay, well, I'll post out something on my personal profile today, or I'll quickly go into Canva and I'll quickly make up a post, and then you post it up. And then tomorrow you'll go on to thinking, oh, I haven't put anything on my page for ages, I better put something up there. So you quickly throw something together, and everything's very ad hoc and it's very messy and it's very sloppy, and you're actually not really doing anything that's constructive. You're spending a lot of time wasting time. You're wasting your time creating social media graphics that actually don't go anywhere or do anything. So what we're going to do is this little soiree. It's a little party, and it will help you to think about a very quick and a very productive way of creating your content. So if you haven't got a notebook and pen, do get one and write these things down. So the very first thing that I want you to do is think about your product or your service. Now, when I say that, many of you here will have multiple things that you can offer. The problem with that is that you kind of want to offer everything. You want people to know, how talented you are and how expert you are in a particular area. The problem is that it gets confusing, not only for you, but it gets confusing for the people that are listening to you as well. So really what you want to do when you're thinking about your social media content is think about where you want to take people on a journey. What path do you want to lead them down so that they will ultimately come onto your email list? And that's the important part about this. So just think about one of those services that you offer in your business at this moment in time and write it in the chat box for me if you would. Now, not right this second, unless they're right next to you in the drawer, but get some post-it notes and a pen. And, you know, the more colorful they are, even better, particularly if you're a visual person like I am. And then those of you that have worked with me before, you know that I love to set a timer. And the reason I set a timer is because when you do that, it suddenly has this kind of energetic pressure that you put on yourself. You've got the timer on, and in addition, if you put on some real banging music, if that's your style, put on some banging music and work really fast, because what you're going to do is during that 20-minute slot of time, on each post-it note, just one per idea, you're going to write down an idea, just a piece of content that you could put up. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be a fancy title. It doesn't have to be a fancy heading or anything like that. Just an idea. It might be an idea like thinking about your service or your product as the end goal. It might be something like 3 tips how to build an email list, 4 ways of creating your social media content. So think of lots of ideas and write those down on the post-it notes. And then what you're going to do is you're literally going to slap those post-it notes on the wall or on a mirror, something like that. Okay. So you could put down the ideas, perhaps an idea for a story that you'd write, a piece of content that you could possibly use on any form of social media, but it has to be relating to that one product or that one service. And it will all become clear as to exactly why. So from there, after your 20-minute timer goes off, what you're going to do is you're going to set the timer for another 10 minutes, and then you're going to organize those post-it notes. Now, there's 2 ways that you could organize these. You could either organize the notes into columns of where you will post them. So kind of put yourself a column of maybe Facebook, personal profile, another column for Facebook group, another column for LinkedIn, maybe one for TikTok. And then you literally take those post-it notes and just slap them underneath the column heading that you've chosen. Now, the other way of doing it is you could say, well, what types of posts are they? So you might have a column that says Facebook Lives, and you might have a column that says Facebook quotes. You might have another column that says short video training. So you're going to put them into columns of types of posts, because then those types of posts, you can decide afterwards exactly where you're going to use them. So it's a really, really quick way of getting some social media content together. And I really love using this particular strategy, because what it does is after you've done all of those topics, you've got your post-it notes on your wall or your mirror, then you will look at it, take a big breath, and then celebrate, because you have done all of your content for approximately 2 weeks to 30 days. And remember that because you've written down an idea, doesn't mean to say that you only use that idea in one place. You could use it in multiple places, but just on different days. So the whole point of this is to actually get that content down onto your page, onto your post-it notes. Okay, so it's a really, really quick way of having a social media marketing strategy together. So the reasons that you're here is that you are actually in the right place. If one of those reasons could be that you're very aware of email marketing, but you haven't actually done anything or anything much in terms of growing your audience. You might have sold some of your products, or you might have even done a bit of pro bono work where you're offering your product for free, but you haven't really got to that point of having enough people that you could possibly promote your products or your services to. And it's mainly because you don't know exactly how all those moving pieces fit together. And there are quite a number of moving pieces, particularly if you're going to be strategic about it. And you want to put the systems in place because you know this will make a huge difference to the bottom line of your business. And in fact, I ran this masterclass the other day, and one of the students that came onto the course, she actually is doing a lot of pro bono work, a heck of a lot of pro bono work. And, you know, my goal for her is that she needs to have that balance between the free work that she's doing to the paid work that she's doing. So I'm excited, you know, I'm excited that she's on the course so that she will be able to learn exactly how to balance it out. So the second reason that you might be here is that you are completely and utterly motivated to launch your product or service. You've heard about launches. Again, you don't know how all those moving pieces fit together, and there are many moving pieces, but doing a launch of a product or service will actually give you a really nice cash injection into your business. And at the end of the day, that is why you're in business, because you want to make money for yourself. Maybe even you're in a full-time job and you want to be able to leave that job. But the fact is that, you know, quite often women in particular, I hate to say this, but women in particular, they end up working online and they end up not making very much money at all. But they're incredibly busy, and quite often they're busier than they were when they were working in a full-time job. Now, the reason that you want this nice cash injection and you want to be making a regular profit in your business, of course, is so that you can ultimately spend more time doing the things that you really want to do with the people that you love to do them with. So that's my goal for you, is that I would love for you to be in that position that you're earning a regular income and you know exactly where that income is coming from each quarter. Now, you could be here because you're intrigued by the idea that you can simplify your business by creating automated systems. And those automated systems will have your ideal client excited to hear from you. And the beauty about the methods that I'm teaching you today is that, you know, I'll be honest with you, you need to be selective about who you bring in to wanting to work with, because it's not just about you going out and kind of begging for people to work with you. You want to be selective. Are they the type of people that I want to work with? Are they the type of people that are going to take action? Are they the type of people that are going to go through every part of my coaching or my training, my teaching, whatever it is that I'm offering for them? Because of course they will have a much better benefit if they actually stick with you and they go through everything that you're teaching them, or you're coaching them, or you're training them. So you want to be able to launch your business offering, but in a strategic way, while saying no really to those projects and, dare I say, people that are no longer giving you joy, and saying only yes to those that do. And that, I think, you know, is so important, because that gives you that level of freedom and choice that I often talk about in business. So which one are you? Are you number one? It could be that you're excited about launching. Are you number two? You would love to enjoy a cash injection and spend more time with the family. Or are you curious about simplifying your business? So put number 1, 2, or 3 in the chat box below. And I'm going to come in and see. Okay, let's have a look. All right, so Heather, you're here. Good, good. Lisa, you're here. Fantastic. All right, so Sally, you're number 3. You want to look at simplifying your business. Absolutely. So what about the other ladies? Where are you? Come back to me wherever you are at the moment. So you are 1, 2, or a 3. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for your honesty. It's true. You know, so you could be excited about growing your audience, enjoy a cash injection, and curious about how to simplify the business. And it's definitely something that we all need to be doing as well, is simplifying the business. Okay, so I'm just checking who else is here. Heather, great. 2 and 3 as well. Excellent, excellent. Okay, I'm glad it's 2 and 3. I know from conversation that we've had, you ought to be doing 1 as 2, my lovely. Okay, Lisa, all of them. Excellent. Sarah, a mix. Lisa, I love working with Sunny. Oh, thank you, darling. It's so lovely to have you here. It really is. It's wonderful. So thank you very much for your feedback. It's great to see what you're feeling and how you're thinking at the moment, because of course, when I know how you're thinking, I can actually direct you in the right way. And what's important is, whatever your reason, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, I absolutely 100% fully support you and can see that you are actually in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. And I know that there's many of you that are here because of conversations that we've had, because of the ways that you're doing your business right now. So what I want to do is just for the next 2 minutes, and I'm not going to take up long at all, because I don't want to be overindulgent here, but I just want to give you a feel about who I am. All right, especially for those of you that haven't actually met me yet, and you might have seen a little bit of my social media, but not everything. So first of all, I want to introduce you to Rock. That's actually his name, and he is my rock. He's my Italian stallion. He's actually from Australia, but he's from an Italian family, which is very sexy. He's actually a Tinder date, would you believe? And 2.5 years later, after spending 24/7 with each other, we're engaged to be married. And I can't wait until next year comes, because we might be looking at going to Italy or Croatia and getting married there. So the other two pics of us are when we went to Germany not last year, perhaps the year before now, 2019. We're outside that fancy Disney castle, you know, the one that they actually modeled all the Disney films on. You couldn't actually see it because we were totally covered in this weird misty rain. It was very funny. The other one of us is in Matera, where the latest James Bond film was filmed, and we'd got there and we literally missed all the film crew by about a week, which was most disappointing. And then finally, you'll see that group of people. That is a mixture of our Australian family and our Italian family. So we've got family in the south of Italy. We normally live in Australia, but we actually travel the world, and we've been traveling since 2019. Who knew when we left Australia that we would all end up being in a situation of being locked down? So we have done a little bit of traveling, but not as much as we would normally do. And but like I say, hopefully next year we will be moving around again. Now, the most important part about all of this, though, is that I have been in business for many, many years. I've been running various training companies and teams for the last 30 years, one of which was a multi-million-pound company that was featured in Harper's Bazaar. And that was an IT training company, a Microsoft certified training company. So I think it's important that you know that I have actually been totally self-employed for 30 years. I don't think that I could actually be employed now. And the most important part of that for you guys is that I've been in the online space for 10 years. I started a social media marketing company 10 years ago with a business partner, Eileen, and we actually used to teach corporates how to set up their Facebook pages, because they all turned around and said, oh, there's no way this thing Facebook is going to take off. And that's what we used to do for them. And we used to have about staff of 5 helping them. The IT training company that I had 30 staff all over the country and some in Australia as well. Great fun, did that for about 15 years. And then, like I say, I moved on to running the social media marketing company and also a webinar presentation company as well. Now, all of those businesses were businesses where I end up teaching people. So I used to go out to the corporates and I used to stand there teaching them. And then I ended up teaching trainers how to do the same thing as me, whether it was IT, whether it was social media marketing, and whether it was webinar presentations as well. And it's something that I absolutely love doing. And I love doing it because I'm damn good at it. Honestly, I really love doing it. And by the way, just to let you know, I am a fully qualified teacher of adults. And the reason I'm a qualified teacher of adults is that when I started my business, my first business many years ago, I actually had imposter syndrome. I didn't even know it was called that then, but I had imposter syndrome. And I thought that one day someone would find out that I wasn't actually qualified to do the job that I was doing and doing it very well. So I went back to night school for 2 years and got my teacher training certificate. So most of my revenue comes from my own training programs. I never, ever work on any projects that I feel exhausted by, drained by, and will take up too much of my time. I like my free time as well. I really do get to set my own hours and spend the rest of my time traveling, albeit when it gets a bit easier to move around again. So I want you to just close your eyes and imagine what it would feel like if you only said yes to the projects that truly make you feel empowered, inspire you, and you still have time to spend doing what you love to do. Can you imagine that feeling of being so organized that you are only launching, say, once a quarter, and the rest of the time you can grow your audience easily? So give me a yes in the chat box, because I'm sure that is all of you. Wouldn't it be lovely if you could just spend time without guilt, by the way, without guilt, doing the things that you love to do and knowing that your business is actually bringing in an income whilst you're out enjoying yourselves as well. And then you get to work with lovely, wonderful people like I do. I literally do work with amazing people. So growing your audience and launching your business offering is seriously the single most powerful and strategic way to grow your business. You get the opportunity of impacting many, and you get to create a level of income that is, quite frankly, life-changing if it's done right. So I always love to know what the point is of something and where I'm being taken. So I think it's only fair that I let you know exactly the journey that we're going to go on during this masterclass and what you have to expect. So this first step is we're going to talk about what is your end goal. So what is the thing that you would like to launch? It might not be that you even want to launch once a quarter. It might be that you have something smaller that you would want to launch once a month, and that is perfectly fine. But the system needs to be the same in order for it to be successful. I've been watching one of my colleagues online lately, and she's constantly selling, constantly spruiking. She's absolutely exhausted. And I feel bad for her, because I know that if she just put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in the right place, she would have masses of success. So step 2, what it is that you need to put in place before you actually launch your products or service. Step number 3, the power of a small but perfect email list. So an email list doesn't have to be absolutely huge, hundreds of thousands of people. It has to be a list of people that are looking forward to hearing from you. They want to get your weekly content. They want to actually know when you're doing something online. As do many of my list. They love to hear from me. They love to see what's going on, and they love to be in the groups and see what's going on as well. So step number 4, why you only need to launch once a quarter. Like I say, this is just one strategy. You could launch more frequently, but when you see what it takes in order to do a proper launch, and just think of the possibility, your first launch, you might just make a couple of thousand of dollars. But then your second, your third, you're getting bigger and bigger, 10,000, 60,000, 100,000, 600,000. I'm just throwing out these numbers. It's all possible for you. So step number 5, I'm going to take you through how to work with me, and we will also end the session with a live Q&A. So like I said, if you weren't here before, just make sure that you write down any questions and keep them until the end, because if you put them in the chat box, I might end up losing them along the way. So let's think about strategy number 1. I said to you that what we would be doing is we would start with the end in mind. So we've already spoken about the fact that you'll have a product or service that you want to launch. Now is the time that you have to make a commitment to when that's going to happen. So really, you're here at a perfect time, because everything that I'll be showing you on this mastermind will actually lead you really nicely into the new year, so that you can actually very strategically put in your diary, your planner for next year, when you are going to launch your products or your service. So it doesn't matter whether you're doing one-on-one coaching, or you're doing one-to-many coaching, or you want to get more people to live sessions that you do in a group. You could be launching a membership. It might be that you're launching a group. The principles are all the same, even a challenge. The principles are all the same, okay? So the window of launching, we call it the launch window, is you want to be thinking about a time of between 30 to 60 days. Now, as a first timer, I would suggest that you make it 30 days. When you've done a launch once, you can then think about doing a 60-day launch. So the launch itself is multiple moving parts, which we're going to go through, and I really want you to pay attention. So if you're on your phones, off your phones, get your pen and piece of paper, because there is I'm going to take you through every single step that you need to take in order to complete a successful launch. All right, so the first thing is that you want to work a 30-day plan. So like I say, what we'll do is we'll concentrate on working it as a 30-day plan rather than 60 days. And once you've got a date in mind of when you want to launch your product, you can now set all the other dates that need to happen in order to make that launch successful. So does this make sense for you? So you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, you're not going to do any more launching this year. Let's look at next year. Let's look at perhaps the possibility of launching something at the end of January. It doesn't have to be at the end of January. It could be the middle of February. So that gives you a nice kind of 6-week window thereabouts from the start of the year. So you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to launch, just for argument's sake and for ease of calculation, we're going to say the end of January. Now, let's look at how we get there. So these are the steps that I absolutely want you to write down. And if you want to, you can actually take a picture of the slide when all of the elements have come into it as well. So think about your launch date, and you can have like a rough idea of that now. You could even write it in the chat if you want to. The first thing that you're going to think about are 2 dates, and it's what we call the cart open and the cart close dates. So this is the period of time when your product is available for people to buy. It's usually a 10-day window, and when you open up the cart, it actually coincides with something like this, a masterclass. So you will actually either do a masterclass or a challenge in a Facebook group, which actually then brings those people that you've been working with to encourage them to come onto your email list. And that masterclass or that challenge is going to offer them huge, huge value. Okay. There is a time that you set aside, which is called the webinar registration time, or it could be the challenge induction time. So this is the period of time that you want to allow 7 to 10 days prior to the first start of your first masterclass or your first challenge. Okay, so allow 7 to 10 days for promotion time. During that time, you want to do nothing else but promote your mastermind or promote your challenge. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, so let's say that I'm going to launch at the end of January, but if I launch at the end of January and I don't open my cart until the end of January, then how am I going to make money, between? Now, it could be that you're already in business. It could be that you're already working one-on-one clients and you're making money, and that's all fine. That's great. But what if you're at that stage where if you don't do anything at all, you end up not making any money because you've not at that point of having any passive income. So you haven't got a regular membership, you haven't got a regular paid for group, something like that. So what you want to be doing is you want to do something that's called a founding members pre-sale. Now, this is not my idea, by the way. This is something that I learned from Amy Porterfield, and she also learned the founding members pre-sale strategy from what was his name? Stuart McKenzie, I think his name is. I think his name's Stuart McKenzie. Anyway, the founding members pre-sale is basically an opportunity for you to say to a group of people, it's a simple thing of putting a few posts out and writing an email where you say to them, hey, I'm going to be launching my course, or it might be I'm going to be launching my coaching program at the end of January, but I'm not quite there yet. I haven't got all the moving parts in place just at the moment, but I'd really like to get some feedback from you from some of the things that I'm putting into place. And for that, I'd like to offer you the opportunity of buying it for half price. And it doesn't have to be half price. It could be 25% off or something like that. But basically, you're going to sell them something that they can't get their hands on until you do the full launch at the end of that 30 days. But this is a great way of getting a cash in boost to you so that you're not having to worry about the fact that you're only going to be making money at the end of the launch. So it's a really important part of the strategy. And I think it's a part of the strategy that gives you confidence as well, because there are quite a few things that we do we'll get some people on a call. We'll do a questionnaire with them. The questionnaire is not the opportunity to sell to people, but it is an opportunity to validate what you're thinking of offering is what your ideal client wants. All right. So it's a great time to actually talk to a number of people. So the pre-launch phase takes about 5 days. All right. And that's at the beginning of your 30-day launch. Now, don't worry, ladies, I've actually got a whole calendar for you. So when I put the calendar on screen, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So I hope you're all writing this down, because we've got 3 more phases that we go through. So you decide on the launch start. So the way that you do that is you look at the cart close date and you work back approximately 30 days to 40 days. Okay. Now, during the whole of that 30 days, you will actually spend all of your time sharing all that good content that you created at the top of the masterclass. So in your social media content planning, you are going to be promoting, or not so much promoting, but you're going to be giving value of anything to do with the product or service itself. So that's why you have to be really, really clear on what your product or your service is. So then you have your product or your service delivery time, and this should occur around 7 to 10 days after the cart closes. Now, what that means is that once you say to people, okay, my cart opens on X date, 7 to 10 days later, you close your cart, and then approximately 7 days later, you start to deliver your coaching program, your mini series on your Facebook group. What else would that be? A training program, something like that. So I know that I think, Sarah, you're doing the launching, aren't you? You're doing the launching mindset. So part of your launch for the launching mindset is to understand exactly how all these moving parts go together, and teaching them how to ensure that they've got the right mindset before they actually launch their products and services. Interesting concept. Okay. Now you are in the delivery phase. So you're in the delivery phase of your coaching program. So maybe your coaching program is one-on-one coaching, but you've organized your diary in such a way that you are working with these individuals for a period of time. And that period of time could be whatever that is for your coaching. It might be a 6-month coaching program. It might be a 3-month coaching program. It might be a whole year. Or it might be a one-to-many situation. Now, one-to-many is always really good. And what you could possibly do is you could possibly offer a one-to-many coaching situation mixed with the odd one-on-one, so that you're not constantly exchanging your time for money. So what you will be doing is you'll be doing things in a much more effective way, because you are coaching many individuals all at once. Okay. So I was just thinking of you, Heather, with the Hashimoto's. This would be a kind of ideal situation where you would offer the opportunity for individuals to come as a group and have group coaching with you. And then you could perhaps offer them an extra bonus of having some one-on-one time, but not that one-on-one time is regular all of the time. So here, I want to show you the actual calendar, and get your phones. This is your opportunity to actually get a hold of your phones and actually take a picture. All right. So this is the basics of a launch strategy, a launch calendar. So you can see that I've just done it for ease of calculation, started on the 1st of a month. And it really doesn't matter what day you start. Although I would say to you that when you get to doing the masterclass or the challenge, a masterclass is usually better if it's held on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. A challenge, you could always start on the Monday and do a 5-day challenge. And I wouldn't suggest that you do any more than 5 days, because otherwise your energy gets jaded, and also the energy of the delegates gets jaded as well. So my suggestion would definitely be to do a 5-day challenge. So you can see here, you've got the start of your launch runway, which is your 30-day period between the 1st to the 30th. And in that period, that's your promotion time. That's where you keep putting out lots of good content. And once a week, you will promote your lead magnet, your bringing them onto your email list. At the beginning of that time, you can do your pre-launch founding members strategy as well, or you might want to leave it to the following week until you've actually built your email list. You can see when we get to the end of the month that we have this 7 to 10 day window of only promoting to fill up the webinar. And then you'll see that your cart actually opens on the day that you deliver your masterclass or you actually finish your challenge. Then your cart stays open for a period of 7 days. And then the following week or 7 days later, you can start delivering the service or the product that you've actually offered to everybody. So I hope you've all taken a picture of that before it goes. So if you didn't, I'll come back to it. You can let me know in the chat. There are a lot of moving parts. And to be honest, preparation is absolutely the key. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, there's such a lot to do. Yeah, there is. But once, it's like anything, you don't know what you don't know. And what I know that you don't know is you don't know what all those moving parts are. But you can be taught what those moving parts are. And it's very easy that once you know what those moving parts, you just put it in your diary. You make sure that you have a lead magnet or a freebie, a giveaway for the audience growth element, which we're going to talk about next. And you actually know what your 30-day social media strategy looks like. Now, when you batch all of this and you're so totally organized, you find that suddenly you have actually got free time, and suddenly all that stress and worry about trying to get things done has gone. And then, you know, even things like preparing your emails that go out prior to your launch and keeping in touch with your lovely people that you've got onto your list. So it's your turn now. What I want you to do is I want you to share with me in the chat, what is the product or service that you could possibly launch in 30 to 60 days time. Now, I know that we've got Christmas, but, you know, let's just imagine what that would look like 30 to 60 days time. And by the way, don't worry if you don't have a product or service. It could be that you've got a membership that you're launching. It could be that you're launching a group as well. So I'm going to have a look and see what you're offering. Okay. All right. So yes, perfect. Does I have access to other services that could come in as a one-on-one? Excellent. So Heather, I know for you, you've got a program that you can offer. I would love to see that as a one-to-many. And like you say, you've got other services that can come in that can do the one-on-one. And thinking into results program. Yep. Okay. So what else have we got? Yeah, one-to-many for sure. Okay. Sarah, what's your program called? Now I'm just trying to see your information. Yes, Sarah, it is you that's doing the mindset around launching, isn't it? So type that down, launch mindset. Okay, excellent. So what are the moving parts that you have in the launch mindset course? All right, so Sophia, we will be launching the new Our Sacred Feminine Community website, which includes new memberships. You see, I love that. I love the fact that you've actually got a lot of the foundations already together, Sophia. And of course, you can continue to sell your membership 24/7 if you wanted to. However, wouldn't it be cool if you just did a launch, say once a quarter, where you get a big influx of people, where you get a nice flow of memberships? And also, if you switch off the fact that people can come into your membership for, say, 3-month period, it creates that that desire to be in it. Now, you could do, say, 1 or 2 launches, get an influx of people coming in, and then say once a month do mini launches. So depending on the levels of membership that are available, you could do mini launches, couldn't you? All right, Sally, let's have a look. We produce a basket weekly, but we are volunteers. We could run some sort of program to help people redesign their family's meals, and people could pay us for that. We could launch it concurrent with our first basket of the new year on January the 3rd. Okay, absolutely. After this, you could be looking at actually putting that launch strategy together. Okay, so even if you don't have all of the moving parts in place, because one of the things that I learn off of my coach, I learned it's all right to be messy. You can actually do it in a messy way. It doesn't actually matter that you do it in a messy way. It's fine. And you will still get an amazing result. Okay. That's fine, Sarah. I'll send you the recording. Okay, my darling. All right. So let's actually just flick back into the presentation. No worries, Sarah, at all, my lovely. Okay. So let's see. Now, the truth is, whether you are launching a product, it could be a program, a course, a series of coaching sessions, a membership. When doing a launch, it's not so much what you are selling. It really is your willingness to believe in your own abilities and to take yourself seriously that you can actually do it. And I think that that's really important, because one of the things that I found, just talking to my clients and customers, is that they often don't do things because they're a bit scared that they're going to get it wrong. Well, getting it wrong is better than doing nothing in my mind. I want you to be out there doing stuff. Okay, so let's actually now just take a breath for a second, because we're now going to go on to step 2. What do you need before you get started? Now, obviously, the most important thing is that you need an email list. And in order to grow an email list, you need something to give to people. And I'll be honest with you, we've been cajoled into thinking that if we post up a quote or a question or an offer that's, anything, that will bring thousands and thousands of people over to our feed, and they'll love it so much, they'll just go and buy it. Well, that's not the truth, unfortunately. And if anyone's been online for a while, they know that, you've tried to do those attraction marketing strategies, and Facebook have made it really hard for us. The truth is, it's unlikely to happen that people will come to your posts and actually just buy anything. People are much more switched on than that, and they need to have a relationship with you. And anybody that buys from me, I have totally got a relationship with them. I know who their kids are, their husband is. I know whether they're working, whether they're not working. I know their business. They've actually, opened their hearts to me. That's because I've spent time building a relationship with them. And that's because I want to work with people that I've got a relationship with. I don't want to work with a bunch of strangers. I want to work with people that I have a really beautiful relationship with. Now, the truth is, you're unlikely to be an influencer unless you are already a celebrity. And if you are a celebrity, what the hell are you doing here? You don't need to be here, that's for sure. Social media, honestly, could go kaput any day. It did. It went down at the beginning of October when Facebook and Instagram just disappeared. And if you are totally reliant on your Instagram or your Facebook group to collect all of your data, which means the data of those people that could be working with you, then it's madness. You've got to get them off of social media. You've got to get them onto your own email list. It is so important. You never know when something's going to happen. Now, a side tip is start using something other than Facebook and Instagram. So a lot of people, they tend to use Facebook and Instagram. But if you're using Facebook, try and go for, say, LinkedIn with it. If you're using Instagram, go for TikTok as well, rather than going over to Facebook. So don't be wholly reliant on the thing that's owned by you-know-who. All right. So like I say, choose Facebook and LinkedIn, for instance, if that's where your ideal client hangs out. So like I say, you need to have an appealing giveaway. Now, this appealing giveaway is known as a lead magnet. Most of you have probably come across that term, but just in case you haven't, it's a freebie. It's called an opt-in sometimes, or a giveaway. And that giveaway could be in the form of a guide, an ebook, a checklist, a cheat sheet, or a mini video series, or a mini audio series. So there's quite a few different types of giveaways that you could quite easily put together that's of massive value. Now, all of those freebies must take them to your email list. And the way that you do that is to use what we call an email service provider. Some of you might already have this set up, but it's knowing how to use it effectively that's important. So again, get your notebook and pen, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to include in your must-have lead magnet. And this is something that we did on a course recently, and the ladies that were on the course, they ended up creating really amazing lead magnets. The very first thing that you think about is to have a catchy title and hook, and that makes it eye-catching and it makes it appealing. Now remember that the lead magnet itself must be benefit driven, so we're going to be thinking about what those benefits are. But let's look at the title and the hook first. What does that actually look like? And here's an example. You want to first of all tell everybody what it is. You want to tell your tribe or your people, your group, the people that hang out with you, what they want. You've also got to tell them the second thing that they want, and then you've also got to tell them what they don't want. So here's an example. 25 ways is what it is. To create engagement is what my tribe wants. And to get noticed, loved and liked, the other thing that they want, without spending every minute on Facebook, what they don't want. So if you actually tap into understanding your ideal client really, really well, then you will be able to come up with the most perfect lead magnet catchy title. Now, there are a few other things that you need as well. So I've put that all on one slide. So you can actually take a picture of this if you want to. The next thing that you think about is to put on there a short intro to add credibility and a little bio about yourself. A picture is always good. I know that some of my customers and clients, they go, oh, I don't want to put a picture up there. You've got to get yourself out there. This is where Sarah would come in useful, the mindset side of things, is that you've got to put yourself out there, because people want to see who they're working with, particularly when we're working online and social media. If you've got a shop, probably not so important. You want to paint a picture of what life will be like with the specific benefits if they implement what you're sharing. So if you know who your ideal client is and you know what their pains are, you're going to paint a picture of what life will be like without that particular issue. So I'm just thinking about you, Heather. You've got the Hashimoto situation. So if you paint a picture for your people in your group to tell them what life will be like without all the issues that come with Hashimoto's, that would be a fantastic lead magnet. So like I said, it could be a guide or it could be a checklist, something like that. Express one or two benefits that they will get as well. And then if you've got them, add a testimonial. So if you've already been working with people, just add a fantastic testimonial. That always helps. But don't worry if you don't have anything like that, because you can actually borrow evidence from Google as well. And then, of course, you deliver your good content. Like I say, if it's three steps to create an amazing lead magnet, 9 elements to include in your lead magnet. So you put down the 9 steps, whatever that might be. Make sure that it's value-based. And I often get some of my customers and clients saying to me, yeah, but I don't want to give away everything. I don't want to give away all my value. Honestly, you're never going to give away too much. You really are not. You're going to have so many people that love what you give to them in terms of the value that you give. They will come onto your coaching, your courses. They'll come and buy your products simply because they want a bit more of the expertise that you've got. Okay, they want it as more of a hand-holding situation. They want it more of a face-to-face situation. And then, of course, something that many, many people forget to do is their call to action. So you have to tell them what they're supposed to do next. So that next thing might be, come and join my group, email me, book a free consultation session. So there's lots of different calls to action that you can have, but you must make sure that you tell them what the next stage is. And also, this is an opportunity to share any congruent resources if you have them. So a congruent resource might be something like using an automated email service provider. And this is one that I would recommend, and that could be an affiliate link. So there's a way of creating a passive income stream without actually even doing very much about it. And also, give those people ways to connect with you more. Perhaps they can follow you on Facebook, they can subscribe to your regular blog, or put your email down there or your phone number. Personally, I don't like giving my phone number out, so I only give them my email. Right, so it's your turn. I told you you'd be doing some work. So I want to know in the chat if you already have a lead magnet and what type of lead magnet that is. And if you don't have a lead magnet, what type of lead magnet will you create to start attracting your audience? So let me know in the comments and I shall have a look. Okay, so I know, Sophia, that you've got one. Sarah, oh, you're still here, my love. I thought you were going. I just missed some. Oh, sorry, you just missed a bit. Okay, yes, you've got 7 steps to your best launch yet. Love it. Love it. Okay. Heather, haven't got one as yet. Okay, so I've given you a few ideas. Now, Heather, if you were to put a lead magnet together, knowing what we've just been through on the slides, have you got an idea of what you perhaps could put together? Okay, mine is time blocking one from your last course, which was great. Excellent. And in fact, Lisa, because you were on the last course, Lisa was one of my last students, and Lisa actually grew her email list very quickly just by sending out the lead magnet about time blocking. And, you know, people do want information, surprisingly enough. Okay, Sally, I might do some 5-minute prep or less veggie recipes booklet. Oh, look, I think that would be great, but don't do too many recipes. Like do something like three recipes and that 5-minute prep of the vegetables that go into those recipes. I love it. Great idea. What a fantastic idea. Okay, Sophia, we have the exercise, a meditation audio, but would like to revamp it or use a new one. Excellent. At least you've got something and you know why you need to use it. So thanks for your feedback, everyone. So I've just given you some ideas, and you know what I want you to do is just start with that one lead magnet, and then as time goes by, you can actually create more lead magnets. All right. So for instance, I have multiple lead magnets that I send out, and it all depends on what it is that I'm actually leading people do, what masterclass, what membership, you know, what course I'm doing. Okay, so let's take a wee breath and a stretch. There's step 3. And again, get your notepad and pen. And these are all strategies that allow you to work smarter, not harder. All right, now it might sound like it's quite a lot because we're packing in a heck of a lot all in this one mastermind. So I hope that you're finding it very, very useful. And remember, I will be doing a Q&A at the end. But what I want you to understand, and one of the things that Lisa talks about is batching your time. It is so important, particularly when we work online, to actually dedicate blocks of time to doing one job. So for instance, your social marketing calendar, when you set that up, set aside, 2 to 3 hours once a month to do it. Otherwise, you end up spending, half an hour every day trying to think of the next thing that you're going to post. And that over the month ends up being such a lot of time and such a lot of wasted time. Okay. Now, being very strategic once again, you need to think about one thing that you can use to deliver your content. Now, we have actually been led to believe that we have to be everywhere and be everything to everybody. But I want to give you permission right now that you actually don't have to be everywhere and be everything to everybody. All you need to do is to be able to serve your ideal audience. And to do that, you need to decide what is going to be my one delivery method. So if you are someone that enjoys writing, choose a blog. If you're someone that is a great talker, choose a podcast. If you love to be on camera, choose a video show. Are you awesome at teaching sessions live on Facebook? In which case, make sure that you show up every week to do that. So this is not to say that you don't have to do all of these things. It's just saying, certainly, until you are more experienced, then just think about one method. And there are a couple of reasons for this. Not only does it allow you to batch your time, because, for instance, if you're a writer and you do a blog, just set aside, say, like a day once a month to write 4 blogs. Or if you can, you might even be able to write 8 blogs. But you write those blogs just all in one day, and then the job's done. You post them up, you schedule them to go out, and each of those blogs has got a freebie with them. So you just make sure that you do that as a batch. If, say, you're doing podcasts, again, you can actually sit down for half a day and record all of your podcasts, and you don't have to make the podcast too long either. Again, a video show, you want to get all dressed up, all dolled up, all ready, lights, camera, mic, action, and record your video shows, say like in blocks of 4 different video shows. Now, the Facebook Lives, they're a different matter because you actually have to be there live. And that's something that I do. I tend to send out blogs and I do Facebook Lives. Absolutely love both of those. And blogs are not dead, by the way. They're actually still very much alive. Okay, so I want you to just think about what you will do and write that in the comments. What is that one thing that appeals to you? And think about what you're already doing. Are you doing one of those already? What's going to be the easiest thing for you to do? So if you've already got a group, maybe showing up on Facebook Lives is going to be your thing, and make it the same day every week, because it educates your audience to come there to join you. They look forward to it and they want to be there. So there's a few things I do live. I actually do the training on Tuesday, I do the power up session on Thursday, and I do the tea break time on the Friday. When I first started, hardly anyone showed up. It's still not huge numbers, but people know that I'm going to be there. And if I'm not there, they'll bloody well tell me, where are you? What are you doing? You know, I was really looking forward to the session. So it actually helps people understand where you're coming from, and it gives them time to spend with you and actually hear your expertise. So the areas to focus on is to work out your plan for the next 30 days and use that method we spoke about at the very beginning with the social content plan. So work in those blocks of time just once a month. Plan your content that only needs to take about 20 minutes, set the timer, and then create the content using Canva. And some of it doesn't even have to be created using Canva, because of course these days you can actually just type something in Facebook and you get that background. Use that, look at when it's appropriate for you to use a background like that. And you'll only need to spend a couple of hours creating the content. And you can reuse content perhaps from last year as well. Then you'll spend an hour scheduling the content, and that hour can be spent scheduling up in your Facebook page, which could be linked to Instagram. And then you've got both of them done at the same time. And you can schedule in groups as well. So make sure that you've got something going up regularly in those groups. All the content should be of value, educational, transformational, and lead people back to the lead magnet and onto your email list, which will be set up with something that we call campaigns and broadcasts. So those could be the lives, the posts, and the stories. Do make use of stories, by the way. And the promotional part of it, you don't want to be promoting on every single post, of course, but what you do want to be doing is actually having the topic to coincide with exactly what it is that you're going to be selling at the end of your launch time. So again, take a picture of this. This is what a launch plan, sorry, not a launch plan. This is what a content plan looks like. So you'll have your day of the week, your publish date, your topic, whether you're going to do daily lives or lives at all, what's happening in your group, all the links that you need. So you would have written all of your blog posts or prepared your podcasts, and then you can put the links to all of those and all of the links to the opt-ins as well. So you've got everything that you need in place. So I hope you've taken a picture of that. Now, I'm going to give you a few tips as well. And this is something that you can do right from tomorrow. And it's something that you should do regularly. And I do teach this, but I don't always do it myself. And particularly at the moment, because I've been going through a lot of other things online. I've been doing a lot of other things. I haven't been doing so much of this. But when you do this, it makes a big difference to your business. You should be commenting on posts every day. So put a timer on and spend 10 minutes commenting on posts every day. This is something, by the way, that we do in the Power Up session. Add 5 new people to your friends list and remove old or expired friends. All those old or expired friends are doing your Facebook feed a lot of harm. Same with followers on Instagram. If those followers are just a complete waste of time, get out of the ego side of things, of the numbers. And, I had to do that. I had the 5,000 friends and I literally had to get out of my ego and get rid of a lot of those friends because I found that they were no longer active on Facebook. Engage in 5 groups maximum daily and become the go-to person for whatever it is that you're promoting. And also do take advantage of what I call the spam fest groups. Now, I don't really like all this spammy thing that they do, but there's a lot of groups that have got more than 40,000 people, and they basically allow you to promote in there every single day, and that could be something different. Now, you might think that you won't get anything from it, but you do. I guarantee every single time that I post in those kind of spammy promo groups, I always get someone new on my list every single time I do it. So if I'm doing that in between 5 to 10 groups every single day, then I will get 5 to 10 people on my email list. So that's where I have to be very selective in the groups that I belong to as well. So spend 30 minutes a day on your list building activities. So that will be things like sending out your blog, making sure that your podcast goes out, doing your video, your YouTube video show, and spend most of your time engaging with people in Messenger. That's where you want to spend most of the time. That's where you're going to build your real relationships. Okay, talk to them. Just have a normal conversation with people. It's a much nicer way of doing business, I can tell you. Much, much nicer. So it's your turn. You'll be pleased to know. What I'd like to know is, what method do you use at the moment or feel most comfortable using? So are you a blogger, a video person, or a podcast? Or do you like to go live in Facebook? What's your thing? I'd love to know. So let me know in the chat. Okay, so Lisa's had to pop away. That's fine. Okay. Excellent. FB Lives. Awesome. Sarah, I know you do lots of lives. Yeah, brilliant. And if you do those lives at regular slots, I don't know if you do or not, you probably do. So I might be teaching grandmas to suck eggs. But if you do those lives, just make sure that you are doing them at regular slots as well. So it's definitely worth doing. How about you, Heather? What are you doing at the moment? Our lives, I've just seen it. Good, excellent. So lives are very useful. Again, do those lives, regular slots, have the ad hoc ones as well. I'm not saying to you that you're not going to do any ad hoc lives, but if you can keep a regular slot, then people know exactly what to expect and use that time to promote your products or service. So I want to know in the chat, what would you stop doing in your business if your email list growth and launches were profitable? All right, so just pop that down. Now, this is what people have told me, is that they stopped trying to sell all day, every day. With the launch, I was able to launch once a quarter. I was able to hire a VA to do my social media content. What a luxury, an absolute luxury. I have more time to work on my business rather than in my business. And because I now have a strategic plan, I was able to spend less time on social media and more time with my family. And I earned enough from my email list that I was able to hire a cleaner at last. So, whatever is your thing that you would be able to give up if you had successful launches. So I've got another question for you. Would you like me to help you add new warm people to your email list and craft out a launch strategy with you as quickly as possible? So you can pop your yes in the box, in the chat box as well. And basically, you've got two options. The way I see it, you've got two options. Option number one is that you could try to grow your audience and do a launch on your own without a plan. But you really do run the risk of being in the same place, the same time next year, with a situation where you're still doing a bit of social media here. You've not really done anything strategic to grow your list properly and consistently, and you haven't actually launched a product effectively, and you're not making the money that you deserve. Or the other option is that you could 100% commit to growing your email list, launching strategically using a proven roadmap, a proven journey. So you are invited, if you are ready to grow your email list with consistency, plan a launch strategy that you will have on rinse and repeat and that will save you wasted time, then I'd like to invite you to join me inside of the Audience Growth Academy, which I have just launched. And this is all part of a launch strategy. The Audience Growth Academy is the only online training of its kind that shows you exactly how to grow an audience of people that want to hear from you, that teaches you how to launch your offering consistently so that you can have regular and steady stream of income without always having to be on social media or feel that you are having to sell all the time. So here's what you will be able to implement. You'll actually, coming into the academy, you will get clear on exactly what it is that you're offering, because a lot of my customers, they're never totally clear on what it is that they're offering. They've been trying to do a few different bits and pieces and not absolutely certain of what it is that they're doing. One of the things that I go through is I ask you a series of questions to actually ascertain what your real value is. We'll also work out who your ideal client is so that you can speak the language of your potential customer to attract the right people. We'll create a must-have lead magnet together, and you'll have the feedback of the Sunny Love Members Lounge as well. You'll be able to set up and use confidently an automated email marketing system without, by the way, the fear of the technology. And you'll be able to consistently connect and build a relationship with your ideal audience. And by the end of it, you'll have a marketing strategy that will be fun and productive. So let me show you exactly what you'll get in it. There are 6 modules. Module number 1 is to identify your value and your perfect customer profile. Number 2 is how to craft out and create your must-have lead magnets. Module 3 is to understand and set up your automated email system. And honestly, don't worry about the tech side. I'll be holding your hands all the way through. Module 4 will be creating and optimizing landing pages for maximum leads. Module 5 will be how to write emails that will keep your audience engaged and ready to buy. And Module 6 will be a marketing strategy to grow your audience, and it'll be easy to implement. And then, would you believe, we can have an amazing celebration. So you can see these are all of the modules that you'll get. The value of those modules is $997. But stay with me here because I've got something a little bit special for you. So the program, the complete AGA course, the Audience Growth Academy course, is $997. So I just reiterate for you that you get those 6 training modules from the lead magnet creation all the way to launching online. In that, you'll get a whole series of videos, PDF guides, templates and checklists, and an entire technical vault. Now, that's not all, because I am very giving and I really want to give you this bonus because I feel that where my students have been most successful is through these live Q&A sessions that I do inside the private members only Facebook group, which is actually valued at $997. Now, to be honest with you, I'm really not extra special. I don't have access to a huge team, exclusive experts, technology and resources that you don't actually have access to. What I do have is I have the ability to pass on my experience of 30 years in business, 10 years of those are online, and I have this kind of innate knack to simplify strategies, to simplify the technology that I use to promote my products and services, and I'll pass all of that knowledge on to you. So hang fire there, come back to me, because we've got bonus number 1, as I already said. I've got another lovely bonus for you as well. Now, the next bonus is a 30-day social content planner, where I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get your content subjects down on paper in probably about 20 minutes, how you plan it out in terms of where to put the content, and then the best methods of scheduling your content. This will be something that you only have to do once a month. So you'll batch your time. Now, of course, I do want to offer you a guarantee as well, because I want this to be a no-brainer for you. I do want you to know that I offer a money-back guarantee. The truth is, though, I'm only looking for serious action takers. I want to work with people that also want to work with me, and that they are prepared to do the work. Okay, now the work itself is very easy to follow because I make it very step by step for you. So the program itself, I want you to make sure that you actually give it a go before requesting a refund. And what I always do is I always make sure that you have given it a go, show me your results. And if you feel that it's still not for you, then I will definitely give you your money back. So I want you to have that so that you're securing the knowledge that if it isn't for you, then of course you can ask for your money back. So we've got bonus number 1, bonus number 2, we've got that amazing guarantee. And now I've got another bonus for you. It's a group growth and monetization strategy. This will be a whole sort of course on its own that will teach you exactly how to grow a group and how to monetize that group. Now, I know that there's some of you here that have got some amazing groups already, but you're not actually properly monetizing those groups yet. And there's a lot of tweaks that you can do to your existing groups to actually monetize them. So just to go through, you've got your 6 core modules of the Audience Growth Academy course with all the slides, the PDFs, the videos, the checklist, the templates, the cheat sheets. You've also got bonus number 1, which is your live Q&A sessions. I'll be there every week. And you'll also be in the group where you can ask questions at any time anyway. Bonus number 2 is your 30-day social content plan. Bonus number 3 is the group growth strategy. The total value is $2,488. Again, I'm only talking value at the moment, all right, because that's not what I'm going to charge you. All right, so I know that you're curious about what it's going to cost you, and I bet you're thinking, come on, Sunny, just tell us what it's going to cost. And you're likely thinking that it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars for this course, and it's certainly worth thousands and thousands. And I'll certainly be charging a lot more next year, as I know that it's so good and the results have been amazing for my students that have already been on the course. Now, when I spoke to my VA, Lisa, she's actually gone now. When I spoke to her, she said, "You're nuts. You need to be charging more for this." However, I know you well, and I know that $2,488 is maybe a little bit too much. So I want you to have this for $397. You can start today for $397. Now, the course itself starts on the 13th of December, but you will have some pre-work to do when you first go in. And then it starts, like I say, on the 13th of December. We have a break over the Christmas period, which is perfectly timed because that will be the time that you'll be creating your lead magnet anyway. So you can spend a bit of time doing that. Now, I do want to make it a little bit easier for you, and I do have some payment options as well. You've got the 6 payment option of $77.08, and you've also got the 3-month payment option of $154. £5, or of course you can pay in full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you with a link in the chat box. So if you've decided, yep, Sunny, I want to work with you, this is exactly what I need right now, then you can just simply click on this link, and that just makes life much, much easier for you. So there it is. It should have come through by now. So go ahead, click on that link. And what you'll do is you'll actually go into a page, you'll find the options are available to you as well. So you don't have to worry about trying to work it out which one. It's all very, very clear there. However, I do have a special bonus for you if you pay in full. And that bonus is the Audience Growth Academy email launch project plan. So when you're doing a launch, there's quite a lot of emails that you have to write. There's emails that are invitation emails. There's emails that are launch emails. There's emails that go out after the launch. So there's quite a lot that you have to put together. So what I've done is I've put a pack of emails that are already written for you. And all you've got to do is you just got to tweak it to make it look like your own. Now, if you remember, all right, so don't leave me yet. If you're going to go over and buy, you can go and buy it. Like I say, if you pay in full, you get the you get that launch template pack as well. So I did mention to you right at the beginning that there's a special bonus, and that special bonus is a complete 90-day planning guide, and you're going to have access to the complete 90-day program that I put together 3 months ago. We'd actually did a live workshop, and you've got all the recordings of that, exactly how to plan out your next 90 days. And that's timed perfectly. And to get your hands on that bonus, if you actually decide to go ahead with the course, whilst we're still on the live, I'm going to move into the Q&A session in a second. So whilst we're on the course, if you decide to go ahead, you'll also get access to that as well. And it's definitely worth it. The ladies that were on the course absolutely loved it. And it really did plan out their 90 days. And I love to just work in batches of 90 days. So here's what you'll overcome when you come onto the course with me. You'll overcome the fear of not being successful, the fear of no one buying your services, the fear of the technical overwhelm, and the fear of what to do and how to do it and by when. So there's a lot of fear that you're going to get through as well. So just to put it back up on the screen for you, here's your 6 monthly option, $77.08, your 3 monthly option of $154.05, and then the one payment of $390. Actually, I've put $397. It's $395. So you've saved $2 there already. So that's all it is. All right, now I'll just show you what will happen so that you're very, very clear. This is the page that you'll see. And basically, when you click on that link that I've just given you, you go down to the bottom of that page, and then you'll see you've got your three options, the $395, the 6 monthly payment, and the 3 monthly payment option as well. I just want to show you this so that you know exactly what's going to happen. You'll go to the next screen, which will allow you to fill out your account details and set up your password for the Audience Growth Academy. And then you'll go into the payment screen. And the nice thing is that you can pay by Stripe, which takes your credit card, or with PayPal. So both secure systems for paying. And then once you've done that, you'll actually receive a confirmation email from the training portal that I use. That will give you all your login details. And then you'll get another email from me personally. It'll have the subject line in it, Welcome to Audience Growth Academy with Sunny. So if you don't see that, please check spam first, because that will also give you the next instructions of what you need to do. So go and have a look on that. And in the email, you'll also have a link. So when you come back and you actually log in, you just look at a page like this, you'll log in, and then the first thing that you'll see is it will take you to a welcome video. And in that welcome video, it says about the course actually starting properly on the 13th of December, when module 1 will be delivered to you. And then each week after the 13th, you'll get a new module, but I'll not release one during the Christmas week. Give us all a break. And then once you've watched the get started video, there's also another video for you to go and have a look at, which is the new student induction video. And then you'll also have a link to a calendar that gives you all the live Q&A dates, and also the calendar for any other of the things that we tend to do in the Sunny Love Members Lounge, like the Power Up session as well. And by the way, for those of you with a different timescale to me, I'll be doing a much later version of the Power Up one as well, to allow for those of you that are in New Zealand and in the US as well. So here's your details. You've got the link. So remember that, you know, I don't know exactly the reason why you showed up. I've no idea. I've got a bit of an idea, but the reason that you showed up today, even though you're incredibly busy, so I really do thank you for that, is that you kind of feel stuck in your business. It's not making enough money for you. You're doing a lot of pro bono work and you're not really sure of the next best move. Or it could be that you're just exhausted. You're absolutely wiped out from too many one-on-one work, and you want to be able to choose who you work with and when you work with them. You want to be able to sell more of your programs and deliver to multiple people at once. Or it might be that you've been feeling like you're going around in circles. You're trying to do everything, be everything for everyone. And you know that automation is the answer, but you're actually not sure of the road to take. So one of those could be you. And for whatever reason you're here, I get it. I understand you. But I also understand that right now you might have some doubts. Now, I know that you want this course, but you might have your doubts. And those doubts could be something like, I don't know if I have a good idea for a lead magnet. Well, don't worry about that, because we will work through all of your ideas. In the group, you'll have the feedback from not only myself, but from the other members that have been on the course before and the other members that are in the course now. We'll take you through the whole lead magnet creation with ease. So looking at your value, your perfect customer, the type of lead magnet, what to include, and what the call to action is. So I've definitely got you covered. This is Karen. Karen is a beautiful lady, absolutely wonderful. She actually came to me. She didn't know how to create the lead magnet. She didn't know how to set up the technical aspect. She had no idea how to set up the email service provider or any of the marketing. She's now got the lead magnet. She's also set up a Facebook group, and she hasn't even launched her business yet. And she's got many of her ideal clients on her list already. Now, I know that some of you will be thinking you don't have the technical knowledge, but again, like I say, I've been in business for 30 years. All of it's been teaching, and I will be holding your hand, taking you through all of the technical aspects side by side, step by step. And some of you have said that you don't have a website. You really don't need a website at all. The website is something that can come later. Some of you might already have a website. Maybe you want to revamp them, but I will be showing you some software that kind of mimics a website. So there's lots of things out there, and a new free tool that I've just come across recently that I'll share with you another time in the group, that creates a wonderful mini website for you. And like I say, it doesn't cost a thing. So it's definitely worth doing. So here we are. You get started today with one of those options, the 6 monthly, 3 monthly, or the full payment. Remember, if you pay in full, you get the extra bonus of the templated emails. So definitely worth doing. And now let's go on to a Q&A session. So this is my time to answer any of the questions that you might have. So I'm going to come back into the room with you, and let's see if we've got any questions. Okay. So any questions at all from any of you, just write them down. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen and then pop my camera back on so that you can see me and we can answer your questions. Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you for still being here. Sorry I ran over, but I just wanted to cover everything with you. So let me know if you've got any questions in the box. So one of the questions that I keep getting asked is this course for people, is it suitable for people starting out in business? And yes, it's suitable for people that are starting out in business, but also people that have been in business for a while. So like I showed you, Karen, she's not even launched her business yet, but she's gradually doing that. She's building her email list, and she's actually built her group. So she's encouraging people to come to her group. She's nurturing them until she's actually ready to launch the business and launch the program that she'll be teaching. So yes, it's absolutely right for people that haven't been in business or have been in business for a little while as well. All right. So I've already got an automated email system. Do I have to use the one you recommend? Okay, so that's a really good question, because the automated email service providers, there's so many out there. You could already be using one. What I teach, you will be able to use with your existing email service provider, or you might even decide to switch. So once you're in that part of the course, we'll actually work through and decide whether it's better that you stay where you are, or whether you actually learn how to do it in your own one, which I'll be able to show you. So most of them are very, very similar, practically the same. So you'll absolutely know what you need to do. Okay, lovely. Thanks, Heather. Okay, good to see you. Got any questions before you go? So another question that I had was, how long is the course available? That's a lifetime access. So you've got access to absolutely everything. You don't have to worry about whether it's going to be taken down or not. You'll have everything there. And also any updates to the course will be given as well. The technical aspect I've already covered. So just to reiterate, I'll be holding your hand all the way through. You won't have to worry about the technical aspect. And will I have to invest in any other training to grow my audience? No, you won't have to invest in any other training. In fact, I would say that if you come on this training, that's all you will actually need, again, to run your business and to run a successful business. Okay, because literally we talk about every part of your business, including all the marketing as well. All right, so any more questions? Sophia, have you got any questions? Sally, have you got any questions? I hope I've given you some food for thought. And it'll be lovely to see some of you on the course as well. If you've got any questions afterwards, you can certainly send me a message. Just send me a message in Messenger as well. And let me just do one more check, make sure there's no questions. All right. I want to finish by saying thank you very much for being here. Thank you for attending. Thank you for listening to this masterclass. I am sure that some of you have got loads of information that you can go away and implement tomorrow. And I will see you in the groups very, very soon. So ciao for now. Take care. Bye.